How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews back with yet another review, and it is cream ale time. Yes, cream ale time in growler form, in the form of Carton Brewing's. Hold on, you're gonna have to bear with me. This is a mouthful. Pumpkin Cream Scobeyville Wood, barrel aged pumpkin cream ale. Yeah. So there you go. That's what we're drinking. Carton. Relatively new brewery to my area. Doesn't really even get much distribution. It's starting to branch out. They're in New Jersey. I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm not too far away, about 3 hours away from the brewery, give or take. And their cans are starting to filter towards me, whether not actually through proper distribution, but through friends and stuff like that. So I'm super excited to start giving them a whirl. And yeah, my buddy stopped by the brewer the other day and picked up this growler for me. So I'm super excited to give it a whirl. As far as what it says on the growler, SSG 577. No idea what that meant, so I looked it up, and you know what it means? It's a submarine called growler. There you go. That's pretty witty. You witty folks. Pumpkin Cream Scobeyville Wood, barrel-aged pumpkin cream ale, 9.5% alcohol by volume, 28 IBU. Carton Brewing. That's pretty much it on the back. So, for the sake of information, I brought up some on the grand old internet, so you actually know what this beer is all about, and I know more about it. Let's see. There are pumpkin-based flavors that are not pumpkin pie. With this in mind, we set out to make an annual beer in the pumpkin tradition that wasn't simply a typical pie-spiced beer. Looking to enhance pumpkin's naturally dry, starchy flavors, we roasted it meat-touched with orange oil, pink peppercorns, and candied ginger. This is added to the mash on our high-gravity cream ale recipe. We took our soup-inspired ale and aged it in our Scobeyville, New Jersey neighbor Laird's Applejack barrels from last Halloween to this. So you're talking about a year-old apple brandy barrel-aged pumpkin cream ale. Okay. Time in the Scobeyville Wood has mellowed the peppercorns heat, orange zest, and sweet ginger bite, and added an autumnal note of bushels of red apples. Drink a pumpkin cream Scobeyville Wood because there are spices on the shelf behind the nutmeg and barrels beyond bourbon. You know, I can't wait to drink this beer. That's all I have to say. Something about it, I think it's going to be good. So, yeah, super excited to give it a whirl. Oh, you gotta love it when the wax comes off like it's supposed to. It looks like I have like 2 layers here, though. First layer and a secondary layer, but it looks like it's going to come off pretty easy. But yeah, I like the wax top growlers. I guess I didn't get into too in depth with my friend, figure out what was going on, but I assume they just wax top a bunch of them so they can just push them out the door, which is kind of nice because he didn't come up immediately. I think it's about 10 days old with the wax top growler. It should be good to go, so I don't have any issues with that whatsoever. See what this sucker has to offer. Okay. I mean, you know, cream ale's cream ale, but for some reason with the barrel aging and all that stuff, I expected it to come out a little bit darker. Totally did. So yeah. Put that sucker on there. First off, you know, gigantic head, as you can see. Super gigantic head. You figure with barrel-aged stuff, especially a year in a barrel, excuse me, you figure it wouldn't have much of a head or stick around all that long, but you kind of go back with it being a cream ale base. You know, you're kind of going back and forth on what's exactly going to happen there. So you had about, you know, gigantic, almost 4-finger full of head. White head, decently creamy top. At this point, it looks like it's receding quite nicely. Color-wise, that looks pretty damn appetizing to me, to be perfectly honest with you. It's got this nice orange glow to it, this yellow-orangish glow with this beautiful unfiltered haziness to it. You know, too bad I didn't have the cream ale with me. Do like a little side-by-side thing to see what the differences were. Not sure if that's exactly what it looks like in the bottle, if that's the barrel aging, you know. But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty damn appetizing. Let's see what she smells like. Don't get much barrel in there, but I dare say you get pumpkin. real pumpkin. Like a lot of places, a lot of people, well, whatever. People will tell you that pumpkin has no taste or smell. It does. It's very subtle, especially if you roast it and you do what you need to do. If there is a base flavor to there, it usually adds body and density to a beer, but it does have a taste and it does have a nose, and you can actually smell legit pumpkin in there. A nice sweet, small maltiness, almost like a slight liquor sweetness to it, almost, as opposed to a beer sweetness. But no apples, peppercorns, ginger, not so much. So, as I said, it's pretty mellowed out from being a year in the barrel. So, it doesn't have the hugest nose in the world, but it does smell good, which is kind of like how you know it smells good. You don't smell much of anything. There's this nice density to it, this nice subtle, like I said, that pumpkin, a little bit of barreling, a little bit of like almost apple, that apple brandy booze there. Not so much apple, but that little booze sweetness that just makes it inviting. So, looks nice. I think it smells quite nice. Let's see what you taste like. Cheers. It tastes like the nose. In that it's so subtle. But I'm going to tell you right now, it tastes good. And it's like one of those things where, how do I put it? The old saying is, you know, I forget who it was. I think it was a Supreme Court justice or judge or something like that. They were debating on what is pornography. And the saying is, the judge said, I couldn't tell you what pornography is, but I know I know it when I see it. I know a good beer when I taste it. And that sounds so cryptic. If anybody's watching this, you're watching it to be like, oh, this is the things he's tasting. Well, what I'm getting is a super fluffy, atypical cream ale, which inherently isn't a huge beer. You're almost talking like, you know, your typical cream ale is not usually your go-to craft brew kind of beer. It's your atypical cream ale with, like I said, that almost like smoky, burnt barreling to it. But it's so subtle. It's like super subtle. With that roasted pumpkin, which is there, which is probably what's giving it the body, but it's also giving it a little bit of subtle flavor. Yeah, it's like a unique thing. Like everything's there, but it's so gentle. It's so gentle and so delicate and so small, but in a good way that makes it work. I just want to keep drinking it. You know, there's huge beers that are over the top flavorful and they're so delicious, and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm tasting what I'm tasting right now, and that's great. But then there are super tiny, tiny little beers that are so subtle and so delicate and just taste so good, and this is one of them. There you go. Yeah. The ginger, I don't get it at all. They say it's in there. I'm super sensitive to ginger. I'm not a huge ginger fan when it comes to, like, you know, ginger in general or whatever. But I do like ginger ale, but that's not the same thing. Not so much there. That pepperiness is there, but again, it's like super subtle. Everything is there for me except the ginger, but it's super subtle in a good way. This is almost like a beer you're like, oh, awesome. This is the perfect barbecue, sessionable, I'm going to drive around in a golf cart and play a couple holes kind of beer, but then you're talking about 9.5% alcohol, so it's going to knock you on your ass. So it's one of those things where It's probably in my Hall of Fame of what I like to call roofie in a glass. It's just beers that you're like, oh, this tastes like nothing. I'll just chug this sucker. And it's like 10%, and you're like, hey, welcome to the dumpster in Chicago. And what happened? Got a beer. So, yeah, there you go. Interesting beer. I couldn't even tell you what it is. It is a cream ale, but I almost want to call it like a cream ale barley wine, which sounds absolutely retarded. But that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of a cream ale and a barley wine had a baby. And in a really, really delicate apple brandy barrel. There you go. Rating wise, I would give it a 89. 89 overall. I should probably rate it higher. I don't know why I'm holding myself back, but I'm going to give it an 89. There's this dryness there. It's not from the hops. It might be, not sure what it's from, but might be the pepper, maybe. Anyway, there's this dryness there. The only thing I would say is just a skosh off-putting for me, but it's not a deal breaker. But yeah, 89 overall. Value and availability. I have no idea what this cost. My friend got it for me. So I'm going to give it not available on that. Value, no idea what he paid either, so NA on that one. So yeah, 89 overall, but probably closer to 90 than it is 88. Let's put it that way. So yeah, just a really interesting take. I mean, to take cream ale and to do all those things to it, and to gain, I assume, a decent amount of ABV from it. I don't look up any beers before I try them. And their cream ale, I'm not sure what their base ABV is, but I mean, 9.5% alcohol cream ale is nothing to shake a stick at. So, yeah. So there you go. Cartons. I'm gonna have to read this because I'm not gonna remember. Pumpkin cream Scobeyville Wood barrel aged pumpkin cream ale. If you want to try something that is totally different than what you've ever had, if you grew up drinking your father's beer, which most likely was a cream ale, if you grew up the way I did, and you want a new school version take on it that is barrel aged with a whole bunch of stuff going on, but it's super delicate and infinitely drinkable, this is your boy. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you did or didn't, or somewhere in between, please leave a comment in the comment section below, and like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. If you check us out anywhere else on the internet, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped. Massive beers in all 4 of those places. And yeah, another review down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice 10% cream ale that was aged in brandy barrels that has nutmeg and peppercorns and all kinds of stuff going on in it. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.